Good morning, community. Jenenne Macklin here, transformational speaker, your wealth guide and catalyst. How have you been? I won't wait this morning because I know I took a pause. I've been gone for about a week. I think it was Friday before last was the last time I hopped on. So I really took some time for self-care more than anything else. So I don't know if you'll get on here or not, but this will be waiting for you. And you notice when we started in March, right? I had on my caftan. It was all beautiful and pink and floral. And now we're moving into winter. And I had to pull out a heavy robe this morning. I'm waiting for it to warm up just a tad bit before I go on my walk. It's 41 or 40 right now out there. I know for some of you it's 30 or 40 or below wherever you are, but for me it's cold out there. But I went back to a practice I really enjoy, and that's morning meditations. I have meditated all my life. I think since my 20s, I taught myself how to meditate. And so I went back to it. It just became something comfortable to do in the morning. Hey, Kat, how you doing? And congratulations for those A's. I know she didn't do it by herself. I know she did the hard work, but I know you were there supporting her along the way. Hi, Janice Chapman Rollin. How are you and where are you in from? But I thought I would hop on. I was going to wait till Monday because, I have this thing about you do things Monday through Friday. I thought, oh, forget it. I'm hopping on today. And the reason was because I did do my meditations. This last week, I've been doing my meditations. I love my morning meditations. So I'll be doing those more and more. But I do hope to be back in some kind of consistent fashion. There goes my neighbor. But when I woke up this morning, the meditation I put it on my Facebook page. So I'm going to read some of it because I don't necessarily remember all of it. But what it said was, and I just had this sense so clear about the process we're in. It says, our peace of mind. No, who knew our peace of mind would hinge on our ability to deeply love ourselves and each other, to consider others as much, if not more, than ourselves. I mean, isn't that what this is really all about? To embrace the unwavering and unchanging truth that we are all connected, despite ego telling us we're different in the world, in America, in commerce, and that what we say, what we do, what we think will impact others. And you know this. You know if you say something to your child a certain kind of way, they feel it. Hi, Patricia. You know if you say something to a friend or a neighbor, they feel it. So we have that power. We have that ability. I remember the first time I read this teaching, love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, some of you know I'm a spiritual teacher, but also I'm an ordained minister. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm just a whole lot of things because there's a part of me just knows that there's more to life than meets the eye, and it's the unseen part of life. So that's where I kind of spend some of my time, and I try and bring back the information or wisdom that I get in the unseen back to the present. So let me see, where was I? Oh, I remember when I first heard this teaching, love thy neighbors as thyself. And back then I thought, well, that won't happen because we don't even love ourselves. How will we ever love those who don't look like us, who don't think like us, who don't behave like us? How will we ever love those who we think, or don't think like us, or behave the way we think they should? Now, I know your first thought is probably, oh, I love myself. I'm good at that, Kat. What am I good at? You may think to yourself, oh, I love myself. I mean, that's our first thought. Yes, I do. I love myself. I keep losing my place. But the truth is, we really don't. And so I remember thinking back then, how are we going to love others if we give ourselves such a hard time? How do we love others if we're constantly internally criticizing ourselves? How do we love others if we can't see the key to the whole thing, which is that we're all connected? There's only one power. There's only one presence, and it expresses itself in 7 billion different forms of human life, but it also expresses itself in innumerable forms of nature and air and ocean and sky and sea and trees and grass and all of that. We all come from that same source, but we keep forgetting that because the world is based on commerce. So the world isn't going to tell you what all of those kind of internal shifts and changes we need to make and live by. So I went on and I said, love thy neighbors as thyself. And back then I thought that won't happen because we don't really love ourselves. And how are we going to love those who we think should be doing the things that we think they should be doing? Now, I know your first thought is, I love myself, but you criticize yourself. We don't take care of the gift of life we've been given, which would be our bodies. It would be healthy eating would say we care about this body. Healthy eating would say it matters to us how we're going to maintain this with our daily meditations or with our daily prayers, with our mindful actions and our language. I mean, it's a tall order. And yet here we are again today being asked to care about others as we care about ourselves. And therein is the rub. I mean, they're telling us don't travel, and I'm sorry, I'm always looking to see who's in my front yard. There's tons of people still getting on the plane. You're like, oh, well, you just have to get on there anyway because I got to go see my family. But the whole premise of this whole time that we've been in this transformation, what you guys call pandemic, has been to love ourselves, and as we love ourselves, be willing to love others. And the universe has set it up perfectly because, as you've often heard me say, I see more neighbors than I've ever seen in my life. I talk to more people than I've ever talked to in my life. I say hello to people and they say hello back to me more than it's ever been in the 12 or 13 years that I've lived on this corner. We criticize ourselves. So if we criticize ourselves, of course we criticize others. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. And that's where the rub is. That's where we keep having this push and pull on this planet. You know, there's probably more of us thinking, okay, fine. I don't want to wear a mask. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to wear a mask. And if you see me walking, you know, I pull my mask down, part of it because I have a hard time breathing. And then as soon as I see people coming, I put it back up. But I know that it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. Because we, the W, if you can see in there, we are all connected to each other. We're all connected. So it's a tall order. And the rub is, oh, I got to care about me and care about you. I have to put this mask on to help you. I have to make decisions in my life that might impact you. Whoa, that's a tall order, right? Because America's built on, well, you need to take care of yourself. You need to provide for yourself. You have to do everything for yourself. No, you don't. You don't even make yourself breathe. You don't even make your heart beat. So if you just paid attention to, excuse me, I keep saying you, we don't even make ourselves breathe. We don't even make ourselves our heart beat. It is the same power that's breathing my heart, that's beating the heart of 7+ billion people on this planet, that is breathing the life into the trees, that's making the grass grow. That connects all of us all the time. So I thought, wow, isn't that pretty clever? It's a kind of tall order. Here we are again, being asked to care about others as we care for ourselves. And it's a rub, but it's quite clever, don't you think? Love others as you love yourself. Reserve your critique for others, recognizing that you are really critiquing yourself. Because when we accept that we're all connected, we understand that what we do and what we say and what we think and what we feel, all of that will impact not just the originator of the thoughts, but those outside of us, because we'll carry that vibration as we go throughout our day. We carry the energy of, oh, I'm just going to take care of me because I have to take this for myself. And we carry the sense of, I got to do it all by myself. I got to make it happen. I got to take care of my family. But what if we carry the energy of, we're all in this together? And yeah, no, I don't like doing this because I don't want to do that. But however, I will do it because that's what's going to be in the highest for all of us. Whatever we think and feel and hold as our energy and vibration, it really comes back to us because we're the originator of the thought. So it's like we don't even know the power that we really do have on this planet. Who knew at the core of this transformation, I call it a transformation, or what you may call the pandemic, was a sacred teaching to demonstrate, not talk about, our love for others. And to the degree that we do that, we will demonstrate love for ourselves. As we love others, we love ourselves. It's not based on their outer appearance. It's not based on their behavior, but knowing that we are all connected divinely. So today it's a mass. It's a gesture saying, I know the truth of our oneness. You know, tomorrow or may be something different. There will always be something that God, life, and the universe is using to pull us into this realization of our oneness. And because the pull of the world, the pull of commerce is so great, it's hard to hold on to that. It's hard to hold on to that thought of oneness, that what I do, what I say, what I think is going to impact someone else. Because so much of what we're hearing would make it seem and appear like, oh no, it's just only going to be impacting me. So I can just do whatever I want to do. I can go get on a plane. I don't have to get tested. Or even if I get tested, people are getting tested and tested positive and still not taking action to think of others. So it's really an awesome transformational time on the planet for us to begin to really sit down and think and ask yourself, do you really think you're separate and apart from every other being on this planet? Do you not recognize that you came out of that same divine soil of the universe, that we all came from that one source? I'm not talking about your mamas and your daddies. I'm talking about bigger than that. And that because of that, we're all connected. There's no way we could ever be separate. So where can we make decisions to honor and love ourselves more, and in so doing, honor and love others? Even when it feels inconvenient, because I know for some people the mask is inconvenient. Even when it feels inconvenient, knowing that there is no other. There's only one. There's only wholeness. There's only one. There's only wholeness. If you could think of God expressing itself in 7 billion different people, that at the core of all those 7 billion is that still one powerful presence and energy. So that becomes so much of what this time is about for us. And I early on in March, I remember I kept saying it's going up, going up, going up, going up. You never heard me say it's coming down, right? It's going up, it's going up. It's still going up because we are now at the crux of what it was all about. You know, like when you look at, I don't know, all the movies, I guess Star Wars or E.T., there's always something where they're going up, 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 up. And they get to the point, and it's the toughest point where the transformation is going to happen. It's the most uncomfortable point where the transformation can unfold. It's the place where all of what we've asked for can actually become true. And it's so uncomfortable and it's so inconvenient. And it's just like, the human part of us is like, why do we have to do that? And it's not fair. And I just want to play and have fun. I don't want to be uncomfortable. But I guarantee you, every time you've been uncomfortable in your life, you've grown. Every time you've been uncomfortable, you've strengthened a muscle. It was either your faith muscle, it was your love muscle, it was your resilience muscle. But every time we've been here, this is just the first time we've been in it where I want to say all 7 billion people on the planet are part of it to one degree or another. But certainly those in the United States are in it. Oneness within us. We have to accept that. And we weren't all taught that. I know we weren't all taught that. That is something that we don't even hear that much. It's something we don't even think about that much. And here is why. The outer world is constantly vying for our attention to distract us from our true mission. It's so clear that these times are for us to uncover the truth within us. But we've been trained by the world to look outside. We need our bars, we need our sports, we need our parties, we need our church, we need our shopping, we need our travel, we need our restaurants. I remember people were so upset, well, how come we can't go to church? What do you need a building for? God is everywhere you are. Just go into a room in your house somewhere and sit down and be with God. You need to sing. I remember all the gospel songs. Sing them, turn them on, praise to Him. Enjoy it in your home, in your space. God's right there with you. There's so much that we've been taught and trained that we have to do outside. You know, we have to go to the bar. You know, we have to go to the clubs. We have to go to the parties. We have to go to church. Go to church? You have to go shopping. We have to travel. We have to go to a restaurant. The world has really groomed us to go out there for everything we need. When what this pandemic for you, this transformation for me has brought to our attention is the need to turn within and discover what's within us. And it is the most scariest thing for people to do. How many times do people say, oh, I tried to meditate, I couldn't get my mind to shut off? Well, keep trying. Just keep trying. At some point, your mind will realize, oh, okay, wait a minute, the power within of the meditation is greater than this chatter that's going on, repeating the same things over and over. People are so upset. Why are they closing the churches? You don't need a church. I'm looking at all these empty buildings on this planet that we have created, all these constructs because of a capitalist country. My ancestors set out in the forest and had their church services. They set out in the forest and talked to the trees. They set out in the forest and talked to the ancestors. They set out in the forest and listened for the wisdom from God. We don't need a church. Sports is to make money. and to distract. What else do we get from sports? You spend your money on season tickets. You spend money on going to the games. We spend money on having whatever on your TV so you can see all 10 games at one time. It's part of the capitalism. Everything that America has created has been to pull us away from our oneness. You got to be at the bars. You got to be at the parties. People are partying and willing to die for a party just to be around other people so you can dance and do whatever. And what? Does it fulfill our soul? Does it fulfill our spirit? Does it give us what we need to be able to help others, to look at others and to intentionally see them as an aspect of us? That the homeless man walking down the street is connected to you because you all come from the same source. That the people in jail and prisons are connected to you because you all come from the same source. But the world will continue to pull you into, oh no, they're black, they're white, they're yellow, they're green. Now you got to treat the black people this way, you got to treat the white people this way, you got to put the green people. I can't wait till the Martians get here. Who knows what way we're supposed to treat them. The green people this way, and you have to treat the brown people this way. That's all America. That's all man-made. But what this transformation is saying, go within, turn within. Go within and turn within. I love that. Kat says, Mother Teresa said, I see God in every person. Can you say that? When you go to work today, my essential workers, can you say that? Or do you just see the person you guys have decided, oh, they don't do their work, or that person does this, is that. When do you look at each other and say, there's God inside that person? There's God inside that person. Now, maybe we've forgotten it. Maybe we weren't told. But if this isn't a time for us to step into a higher awareness and a deeper consciousness of our oneness, I don't know what is. So that was the morning meditation. The outer world is constantly vying for our attention to distract us from our true mission. It's so clear that these times are for us to uncover the truth within. But we've been trained by the world to look outside. We need the sports, we need the bars, we need the party, we need the church, we need the shopping, we need the travel, we need the restaurant. And don't get me wrong, I love to travel. But I don't travel to get away. I travel to explore. I want to go to those places to see, to understand people who live in other countries, to hear their language, to see how they live. I go to explore. I want to know about the other aspects of life and see where we can connect, see where we're in our oneness. That's why I love to travel. Distraction, even if it kills us or harms us. There are more people. 40% of the Christmas traffic is flying. 40%. Do you know how many of those people are going to get sick? And the sickness is to bring us into the awareness of our oneness. Anything to ease the discomfort. We're living in fear while faith is extending its hand to us to say, trust me, lean on me, turn to me. All we need, every single last one of you need is within. And when people hear that, they're like, oh, that's too hard to go within. Oh, it's easier to go out there and party and do whatever and get drunk and do whatever. It's too hard to go within. You sit your little self down, just like I did this morning. And I start at 6 o'clock in the morning or either at 5. I like to meditate when it's dark, when it's relatively quiet, and be still. I've heard you say already. I've heard you say it already. I can't be still. My mind does this and this. Let me tell you what to do for your mind. Put a little piece of paper next to you and get ready to meditate. And whatever comes up, write it down. Because your mind's going to tell you everything. Oh, you forgot to wash the dishes. Oh, you got to call the doctor. Matter of fact, I do need to call the doctor. You got to do this. That's just a mind that hasn't been trained for you and by you to serve you. Get that? Your mind is here to serve you, not run you. So this is a time for you to turn within and allow your mind to serve you and introduce you to the magnificence that's within you. So you live from that and then take that energy into the world, there's your faith, as opposed to taking the fear into your world. We don't get to ease the discomfort we're feeling right now because when we're in discomfort, we make changes, we make shifts, we do things. So the universe has said, you're going to be uncomfortable almost at this point for the year. Now let's see what you can pull out from within you to deal with that. So the end of it says, all we ever needed is within us. And it's the one place we don't want to look. We look to TV, we look to drink, we look to clubs, we look to restaurants. All those places that we can't do right now are just places where we go and socialize. Think about it. Where's the list? Everything is to go out and socialize. You want to go to the clubs, you want to go to the bars, you want to fly, you want to travel, you want to do basketball, you want to do football, you want to do the sports. You're mad because the kids can't do sports and all of that stuff. I can't find my list, but all that is to take your attention out. What do you do every day that pulls your attention in? What do you do? What do you do about the discomfort? Because Kat's giving you some wisdom down there. She's like, when she's in discomfort, she put it into the light, and then she listens within. But what do you do when you feel discomfort? Because maybe you don't have the practices that we have of turning within. But this is a time for you to find out, what do you do? Because life is about being in discomfort. Life is about waking us up to the realization of the truth that we're all one. That we were all created from that same source, and that same source is beating our hearts and breathing our breaths. How do we anchor ourselves in that more? The world needs commerce, but what we need is the realization of our oneness and our connection to the Creator. The world needs commerce, but what we need is the oneness and the realization of our oneness and our connection to our Creator. Who else is going to soothe that worry and that uncomfortableness that you have because things are shifting and changing? You've been out of work for so long and you're trying to figure out what we're going to do next. Who else has the power to guide you to what you need to do to make the phone calls, to make the connections, if it's not that infinite power and presence? Who else has the power to sustain your very life and being while you're understanding all these other things that are happening, if it's not that one power and that one presence? Some people will get this, and some people say, oh, she don't know what she's talking about. And you know what? I don't care. I had great meditation. I'm going to keep right on doing it. The truth is, all we need, all we've ever needed was within us. It's amazing, you know, when I look at some of the stuff on TV and what they're creating, I wish I could do what I'd like to do. And I guess I will, and I do it here. Where's the show on TV that constantly pulls us back to our oneness? Where are the teachings on the television that constantly pull us back to our oneness, to the truth of who we are and whose we are? I'm not talking about Jesus and all that. I'm talking about that infinite power that created everything that there is. We gave everything names and we labeled everything, but everything didn't come with a name and a label. Some things come with energy. They come with a presence. They come with a feeling. When you think of faith, it's a feeling. Just like fear, it's a feeling. You just get to choose. Do you want to be in that, oh my God, what am I going to do state? Or do you want to be in, I don't know necessarily everything that's going to happen, but I'm going to trust the power that keeps breathing my breath and beating my heart to guide me in the direction that I'm supposed to go. It's a choice. So it's up to us. It's up to us to choose it. So even for me today, I'm renewing my commitment to masks. I mean, I have my mask on. Although the other day I went to a store and came out and didn't put it on and forgot it. And nobody said anything. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Usually in the beginning when I walked in, I remember one guy tapped, he said, excuse me, ma'am. I'm like, oh yeah, I left it in the car. But yesterday, nobody said anything at all. But we get to choose. Do we live in the awareness of our oneness and seek to know that and seek to see that in those who sit next to us at work or sit next to us on the bus or those we see in the store or those we see walking up and down our street? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Clever, clever, clever. It's almost like an impossible statement. Or it's the truth. Because we don't love ourselves, so how can we love our neighbors? It's the truth. What we see happening is the truth. We don't love ourselves, so how are we going to love others? Love thyself, love thy neighbor as thyself. It's clever, clever, clever. The universe, God, life, the universe, speaks wonderful, amazing things to us in little, turned around, twisted kind of things for us to realize. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And I just keep saying we can't love our neighbor as ourselves because we don't love ourselves. Now, granted, many of us have learned to embrace all of us. We don't need the dress to know we look good. We don't need all the different, accoutrements, is that the word, that the world offers you. You don't have to run down and buy everything, although I did check into Rihanna's lingerie line because I love lingerie. But she has a whole program that I'm like, I'm not doing all that. But we don't have to have anything from outside because everything's inside of us. So what will it take for us to love us? And the more we love us with what we think are our faults, and we pick about weight here, and we pick about the chin here, we pick about our feet are too big, and we complain about this. Stop the complaining. What will it take to love you, to embrace you, to know I am who I am, and I'm just fine the way I am? And that the more I love me and be okay with me, then the more I can love the person that walks down the street, even though I say hello and they don't say hello back. I don't care. I did my part. I did my part. The universe said speak, I spoke. The universe, after my meditation told me speak, I speak. Whatever the universe tells me to do, I do that. So it's up to us. If we genuinely, sincerely, okay, I'm nosy now. I'm like, what is that on my computer? If we genuinely and sincerely want to see some shifts and changes in the world, what will it take for us to be better? If we're just better with ourselves, we'll be better with each other. If the part of the reason why we're home is if we're better with our families, that'll help us learn to be better with our coworkers. Because at some point you'll be back in the office. You're going to be the same kind of person when you go back in the office. You're going to be interacting with people the same kind of way as you did before. What will you have learned from this year-long experience of transformation? Or did you spend the whole time fussing and complaining because you wanted to be at a basketball game or a football game, or you wanted your kids to play sports, or you wanted this? What will you contribute to the solution that we're desiring to see in the world, on this planet, in our lives, and ultimately in our hearts? So that was what I woke up with today. It's Friday. I really took that last week, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know, because it wasn't like I could plan it and say, okay, I'm taking a vacation for a week, because it wasn't a vacation. It just kind of hit me, and then I just had to stay in it and just stay in it and stay quiet and be still and listen and be still to get anchored for myself. So I thought, well, I'm not going to wait till Monday. I'm going to say it today because everything's happening now. They're getting ready to give us some more lockdowns. I love the way they're doing this, though. This is so wonderful. And I understand the mindset, 100 days for your mask. As soon as they said, my next thought was, okay, 99, I'm counting down the days. So it was automatic. I don't know if that was who it was, if it was the committee that Biden used to help him. But I thought they're already shifting things because they know we like to count down. Or if you like me, I like to count down. It's like if I'm running and I know I've got 5 more minutes to go or 10 more minutes to go, 100 days. I'm like, okay, I can do 100 days. I don't even have to look at the calendar. But I can start marking it off and marking it off and marking it off and marking it off and marking it off. And before I know it, we'll be at 100. And if we realize the power we truly have in this process, not only will we be at 100, we will be at a place where we will have recognized that in loving ourselves and loving others, we honor the truth of who we are, which is this oneness. Just one. There's one. There's nothing that we have created on this planet. Everything has been created through us, by us, and for us by an infinite presence. Every ideal that we have, every, quote, invention that we have has been downloaded through us for us to bring forth in the manifestation on this planet. And to the degree that we're able to recognize our oneness will be the degree that we'll escape from this situation. Just that serious. The more we're willing to recognize we're one, the more you're willing to walk up and down your street and start saying hello to people and talking to people, the more you're willing to start talking to people in your office that you maybe didn't talk to in the past, the more you're willing to maybe ask somebody, do you need some help? I'm sorry, I'm Miss Kravitz, like Bewitched. I want to see who's walking up and down my street. I live on the corner property. The more you're willing to pay attention to the person next to you at your job, the more you're willing to wear your mask, to take the precautions, the more you're willing to step in this we're in it together mindset. I mean, it was a great tagline that they came up with. We're in it all together. But what does that look like living day to day? Well, for me, it's, me watching the people walk up and down my street, saying hello to the people on my street. There was one grandmother who was taking her baby in the stroller, and she kept looking around. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And then when I looked on the other side of the street, there was a coyote. And I didn't know her from Adam. And when I saw the coyote, I got in my car and then I started blowing my horn, which led him down a different street than where she was. And then she could go one direction, and I kept following the coyote around and around and around till I got him on another street. And then at one point I saw her turn. I'm like, oh my God, don't turn in the way I took the coyote. But it was fine. And then a day or so later, she came back and she was walking the baby again. She's like, thank you so much. She said, I didn't know what to do with the coyote. I said, I know, and I couldn't see it at first, but once I saw it, I knew and had always heard coyotes don't like loud sounds. That's what I'm talking about, where you're so connected to what's happening with someone else that you could possibly see how you could intervene and help them. That we're just not in this tunnel of my world, my world, my world, my world, my goal, my dreams, I got to do it. But that where we're really recognizing we truly are all in this together. And it's up to us. It's up to us. We're in it together. I talk to more neighbors and you've heard me say this, so sorry. But anyway, I've talked to more neighbors now than I have in the 12 or 13 years I've been here. The first 7 or 8 years, everybody was getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work. You didn't see each other. And then on the weekends, you were in your house because you're so tired. So in a sense, this is really about transformation for us to see who all we live with, who they are, what their families are about, to talk to people, to understand people, and really recognize in the end, we always come back to center. We always come back to that which connects us more so than that which separates us. And the other part of the love thy neighbor as I love thyself, to listen. We're some chatty people. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody wants their opinion to be heard. Can you listen? Because here's the thing. The more you listen and cultivate that skill, the more you'll listen within for the intuition that comes to you. The more you'll listen within to the guidance that comes to you. The more you'll listen within for that presence that's guiding you along your way and telling you what to do, go left, go right, through your intuition. So you're not walking this journey by yourself. We are all connected. And I always have said this for years. It's just so easy to see. We all have red blood. How much more connected do we need? It's not like black people got black blood, brown people, whatever that means, have brown blood, yellow people have yellow blood, white people have white blood. No. And man is not responsible for the fact that we all have red blood. I don't know what other proof you need to recognize our connection and oneness. That we are all sustained by this one power and this one presence. I'm not concerned about the name, God, Yahweh, Krishna, Allah, Buddha, Shiva, Shakti, Oladamari, the name. I'm concerned that you have that personal relationship, that you stand on that relationship, so that the rebelliousness or that part of you, you can't tell me what to do. I'll wear my mask if I want to. I won't wear my mask. I'll go to the parties. I'll do the, so that that part of you gets calmed down, because that's nothing but ego. That's nothing but ego. Ego would love to keep you off track. Ego doesn't want you talking to God. You know what ego stands for, right? Edging God out. Ego don't want you talking to God. Ego wants people acting just the way they're acting. One side over here mad at the other side, another side over here mad at the other. It's nothing new. Every time I look at, what is it, the 10 Commandments, I love to look at it every year because it reminds me, once they all got free, and Moses did his thing, it's so dramatic, and Moses let the people go, and everybody went out, and there they were free in the desert. Freedom. They wanted freedom. They had their freedom. And what did they do? What's the first thing they did? Start complaining. Start complaining. Same as what we're doing now. Then they couldn't wait for Moses to come down because it took too long. Well, we can't wait for things to change now. They're taking too long. We want the bars open. We want the clubs open. We want to be able to watch basketball and football because you don't want to have to turn within. You want those things to be the distractors for you. And the universe is saying, I'm standing right here. But commerce is saying, oh, wait a minute, you got to have the TV and you got to have the this. You know, people are buying the Xbox at one price and selling it for another price. You have to have this. Oh, no, you have to have all that. No, you don't. No, you don't. So we are constantly being called to make a choice, to be distracted or be present, to be distracted or be with the oneness, to be distracted, separate, and as individuals, or to be cared for. It's a constant choice that we are making every moment of the day. in how we think, how we feel, how we speak, and how we act. Not only just towards ourselves, because we don't necessarily take that good care of ourselves, but also about others. Because we live, we know, we have our being in the truth that we're all connected. And what I do to any of you comes back to me. Because we're connected. What you do comes back to you. Even to nature, the plants. My son always teases me because I talk to the flowers. I'm like, well, they're energy. They're real. Everything is energy, even though it's in the form of a particular kind of way. But we're all connected. So there you have it. Last Friday's talk, last Monday, this past Wednesday, and Fridays all wrapped up into one. Let's see. Friday, what are we doing? They're going to shut us down. It's cool. I just need to get some more food in here because this young man eats quite a bit. And I'm just going to keep right on meditating every morning because it feels good. And don't get me wrong, I love to travel. I already said that right. So I'm missing my traveling. But let's see. When did I first start? I traveled, my first time was in college. Well, I traveled when I was young with my parents, and my mom and I went to Hawaii and we rode on the train. But on my own, the first trip I made was to Copenhagen in my 20s. So I have traveled from my 20s to the age I am now. And no, I'm not telling you. You tell me what my age is. So for me not to travel for a year, is that going to kill me? No. Does it feel different not to get on a plane? Yes. But it's not going to kill me. I don't need to fuss and complain and be mad about it. I know what's coming. And next year is going to be a different year. And the remnants of whatever this experience has been, we will feel it in the coming days. So it's your choice. In every single moment, this whole transformation has been our choice to choose us as a oneness or a lie that we're separate and apart. Have a great weekend. Take good care. I have no clue what I'm doing this weekend. I guess I'm locking down. I'm going to get some food in the house, some food in the freezer. We're going to be running for the paper towels and toilet paper again. And I need some more books. I read 2 books. I've read 4 books so far this year. I used to try and read a book a month. I'm going to give me some more books. I'm developing a program for next year to really help women move through their relationship with money. And I'm going to spend some time with this 16-year-old and get on his nerves because before I know it, he's going to be in college or he's going to be somewhere. Take care. Good to see you all. Love you all. Take care of yourself and take care of others. Begin to just think and ask yourself. I have elderly people that are walking around. One woman's so barely walking, so I can never complain. And she's got her little puppies and she takes step after step after step. And I always stop and talk to her. How are you? How are you doing? How is your family? How are the dogs? Just think about someone else. Ask them how they're doing. And just listen. Because they'll say, oh, it's terrible. It's this, is it. You don't have to fix it. What we need is to know that someone else cares about us as well. And that's what we get to do. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. I'll be here. Okay. Bye for now.